Okay, let's do another one. A notice of removal affidavit from state court to federal. It's not a single document, but a notice of removal, which is a legal document filed in a federal court to move a case from state court, and it must be supported by an affidavit or other evidence if factual allegations about jurisdiction need to be supported. And people, if I get the coughing or what have you, excuse me because I'm under the weather a bit. But we're going to do this anyway. All right, so let's continue. The notice of removal itself is the primary document. The notice of removal itself is the primary document, establishing the grounds for federal jurisdiction and requiring all state court pleadings to be attached. The affidavit would then provide sworn factual evidence to support the claims made in the notice. Notice of removal. Purpose to transfer a civil case from a state court to a federal court. While who files? A defendant in the state court case. When to file? Within 30 days of receiving the initial pleading or summons in the state court case. And there may be some exceptions. For an example, if if some time has gone by and you just came into this information, you would have an excuse to some degree. If you're just coming into this knowledge and you didn't know that you can do this. So, going on, what to include? A short and plain statement of the grounds for removal. All right, jurisdiction, fraud upon the court, to the end of it. Information about the original state court case, including parties and case number. Copies of all documents served in the state case. The legal basis for removal, such as federal question jurisdiction or diversity jurisdiction, must be signed by the attorney or party. All right, and of course, we don't represent ourselves. We stand before the court in propria persona, sui juris. Okay, after filing, you must give notice to all adverse parties and file a copy of the notice in the state court to inform it of the transfer. I would also suggest filing another copy of it in the county clerk's office as well. All right, affidavit. Purpose to provide sworn factual evidence to support the grounds for removal statement in the notice. So the notice of removal, the affidavit will be in support of that. All right, for whatever you're saying in that. When to use. When the notice of removal contains factual allegations that need to be proven with evidence. When a case is being removed based on a basis that requires a factual support, such as diversity of citizenship, the affidavit can be used to support those claims. Just in case you people are asking about the jurisdictional issue, jurisdiction can be challenged at any time. And that's why I was saying that, under certain circumstances, you can go ahead and put that piece together. After the 30 days, there's a leeway, because jurisdiction can be challenged at any time. And if you're challenging jurisdiction, then you have the right to do that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, what to include? Sworn statements of facts that establish federal jurisdiction. Example scenarios. All right, so scenario 1, diversity jurisdiction. A case is filed in a state court and the defendant wants to remove it to federal court based on diversity jurisdiction. The notice of removal would state that the parties are from different states and the amount in controversy exceeds $75,000. An affidavit could be attached to confirm the citizenship of the parties and the amount of the damages. Please do not do or put on the title of your affidavit of fact or affidavit of truth. An affidavit is your truth, is your facts. That's why you're swearing into it, to the facts of it. So do not name your affidavit of truth, because literally your affidavit is your truth. So literally what you're saying is truth of truth. That's what you're saying, or fact of fact. Okay? So name your affidavit after what you're trying to accomplish with the affidavit. So in this case, the transferring of case to federal due to lack of jurisdiction. all right, or affidavit of incorrect jurisdiction, or affidavit of fraud upon the court and intent to receive correction or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You just name the affidavit after what you're trying to accomplish with the affidavit. Okay? Don't call your affidavits affidavit of truth or affidavit of fact, because literally your affidavit is your truth, it is your fact. So you don't double up, because you're gonna it just looks silly. It just looks silly. So name your affidavit after what you're trying to accomplish with your affidavit. Okay. Scenario 2, federal question jurisdiction. A case is filed in state court involving a claim under a federal statute. The notice of removal would state that the case arises under a federal law, while an affidavit might not be necessary if the facts are clear from the state court complaint, if there are any factual disputes that need to be clarified. So in other words, if the charging, the way that they charged you, what have you, and stuff like that, if it's clear on the face of it that it was not correct, you know what I'm saying, then you don't necessarily need an affidavit. But I would suggest, right, and of course we don't give legal advice, but I would suggest throw an affidavit in there anyway. All right, throw an affidavit in there anyway. All right, because once you put that affidavit in there, especially if you put the affidavit in there as in the form of a criminal complaint, you know what I'm saying? Now you can open up a criminal suit against them after the fact. After you've gotten this thing transferred over and the feds like, this is some bull crap. Now you can pursue those criminal charges because you already have an affidavit in their records of a criminal complaint against those parties. So now you can switch it and come on back and bring them into federal court with your criminal complaint. All right. And so basically, I'm going to read that again. While an affidavit might not be necessary if the facts are clear from the state court complaint, if there are any factual disputes that need to be clarified, an affidavit can be used to support those points. All right, with that, it's another one down, another one done. Assalamu alaikum to the Muslims, Islam to the Moors, Shalom to the Hebrews, Hotep to the Egyptologists, Namaste to the Hindus, and peace be upon you to the Christians, and good morning to those who are just waking up to this knowledge. Good morning. You're welcome.